managing fraud risks at a strategic level.
Senator Moody.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing, and thank you for the witnesses for being here today. You know, I think one of the reasons this is so important is because we keep seeing fraud in the news every single day, and I want to thank people in the Trump administration that are working so hard to make sure we are accountable to taxpayers. And I know that many are examining what happened over the last administration, at least in terms of immigration and how taking in, a conservative number is 11 million, but some say up to 20 million people in such a short amount of time, many unvetted, what that can do and how that can tax a nation, and specifically how that can challenge an existing taxpayer base. And I think that's why we're here today. It was disheartening to me to hear some comments from the other side of the aisle that questioned while we were here, why would we even have this hearing? Because, quote unquote, fraud has been going on for decades. I just got here to the Senate. I'm the newest member of the United States Senate, and I actually think as fraud has been going on for decades, we should examine exactly why, even if it's uncomfortable to talk about why, even if it happened under Republican or Democrat administrations. How did we get to a point where some estimates that 10% of our outlay is going to fraud and bad actors and criminals when Americans are working so hard to foot the bill? And we're putting our country into debt every single year, and 10% of that is going to bad actors. I'm about to go over to the White House with my great colleague, Senator Kennedy, to talk about a bill that's going to get signed to stop payments going to dead people. That's a good start, I would say. But hey, I think having a hearing is a great start. Having a hearing is a great start. There are not a lot of know-nothings in Washington. People know a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of do-nothings. And we have got to start acting like it is incumbent upon us to examine how we got here and fix our laws. And that's why you're here today. That's why we're all here today. Because every one of you would say we have a problem. Now, some might say, and I think I heard that immigration reduces deficits. I think there's some testimony to the other side of that. Regardless, we have to figure out why in Minnesota there was child care fraud, many from the Somali community that totaled an estimate almost $9 billion. I think we need to start examining when we're wasting and giving to criminals 9 cents. But $9 billion, probably a good reason to be here, a good impetus to be here. So I'm glad, for one, that we're having this hearing today so we can figure out how we got here, talk about how to adjust our laws to fix it, and move forward so that we don't have fraud going on for the next decades into the future. And I think that's what the American taxpayers and the people that sent us here would expect from us, at the very least. Mr. O'Brien, appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
I read your testimony, and you mentioned in your testimony that the net fiscal cost of illegal immigration to U.S. taxpayers was about $150.7 billion annually. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Billion with a B.
Billion with a B.
So that number is, just so to put that in perspective, that is tens of billions of dollars more than the entire budget for the state of Florida. That's my home state. We are the third largest state. We have about 23 million people. So, again, your testimony is the net fiscal cost of illegal immigration to U.S. taxpayers is more than the entire budget for the state of Florida.
Yes, that is correct.
And if I'm not mistaken, there are only a few federal agencies, maybe the Department of Defense, maybe HHS, with some of the mandatory healthcare spending, that have budgets in excess of $150 billion.
That sounds accurate.
Most every federal agency has budgets for the entire agency of less than $150 billion. But yet we give that over as a result of illegal immigration. The American taxpayers pay that every single year.
Yes.
Can you walk through that a little more in detail, how you estimated that?
Sure. So what we took a look at was the costs from illegal aliens applying for benefits that they were not entitled to. We looked at the criminal justice costs. We looked at the immigration enforcement costs. We looked at the state costs, particularly in programs where there was federal money that the states distribute. So it was a comprehensive analysis taking into account anything where we could find a significant connection between the illegal migrant population and expenditure of taxpayer dollars.
And do you believe by changes to our laws, working together across the aisle, we can tweak and reform our laws to reduce that cost and burden on the American taxpayer?
Yes, and I also think there are things in place that would eliminate a significant amount of it. For instance, the SAVE and the E-Verify systems, if their use was mandatory, that would eliminate 95% of the problems with benefits and unlawful employment.
Appreciate your testimony. Thank you.
Senator Hirono?